Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stopped to wonder why people are truly drawn to you? Why they choose to walk into your life, stand beside you, and sometimes even claim to love you? It isn't by accident, it isn't by chance, and it isn't just some mystery of the heart. There are reasons, deep and powerful reasons, that go beyond the surface. When people say they love you, they're not always loving you for who you are at your core. They're loving what you bring into their lives, what you awaken inside them, and what they see in you that reflects back on them. Some are captivated by the light you carry, by the strength and resilience that shines through your scars, by the energy that refuses to quit even when the world pushes against you. Others are attracted to the benefits, the doors you open, the opportunities you create, the comfort you provide, or the way your presence elevates theirs. And if we're not careful, we confuse these two reasons and end up broken when the wrong kind of love walks away. But the truth is, understanding why people love you is the key to protecting your spirit. It allows you to discern between those who celebrate your soul and those who only chase your shine. It teaches you that not all attention is affection, not all attraction is genuine, and not all love is meant to last. When you realize this, you stop begging for validation and start recognizing your worth. You stop settling for temporary approval and start holding out for eternal value. Because, my friends, the power within you is not defined by who stays or who leaves, but by the purpose you carry and the faith that sustains you. When people love you for the right reasons, it aligns with your destiny. When they love you for the wrong ones, it becomes a test of your vision, your patience, and your strength to keep walking forward. This message today is not about questioning love, but about awakening wisdom. It is about seeing clearly, standing firmly, and knowing that your value was never given by people, so it cannot be taken away by people. People love you either for what you are or for what you offer, and that truth is at the heart of so many of our relationships and experiences in life. Some people are drawn to you simply because of the essence of who you are, your spirit, your energy, your character, and the light that radiates from within. They see something in you that is not defined by material things, not dependent on circumstances, but anchored in your soul. They are inspired by the way you walk through storms and still keep your head held high. They notice the way you treat others with kindness, the way you give without keeping score, and the way you carry a sense of resilience that can't be faked. These people love you not because of what you provide, but because of what you embody. And when someone loves you for who you are, it doesn't fade with time, it doesn't shift with seasons, it endures through the highs and the lows because it is rooted in authenticity. On the other hand, there are people who love you for what you offer, for what you bring into their lives, for the benefits, the opportunities, the comfort, or the status you provide. They are not truly invested in the depths of your being. They are invested in the way your presence enhances theirs. They are attracted to the glow of your success, the network you open to them, the stability you give, or the energy you pour out that fills the emptiness in their own lives. At first, it can feel like love, it can feel like connection, but when the offering shifts, when the benefits fade, so too does their affection. That is when the truth becomes clear: their love was never for you, but for what came attached to you. The challenge for so many of us is discerning between these two types of love. When we confuse the love for what we offer with the love for who we are, we open ourselves up to disappointment, to betrayal, and to heartbreak. But when we become aware of this distinction, we begin to protect our hearts. We begin to see that people's actions reveal their intentions. We begin to notice whether someone is standing beside us in the moments when we have nothing to give, when the spotlight is gone, when the applause has faded, and it's just us in our struggles. That's when the love for who we are stands tall, while the love for what we offer disappears into the shadows. This awareness does not make us bitter, it makes us wise. It teaches us to value authenticity over attention, connection over convenience, and faith over flattery. It helps us focus on nurturing relationships that are built on truth rather than transactions. It allows us to see clearly that not everyone who smiles at us has our best interest at heart, and not everyone who claims to love us truly sees our soul. True love celebrates your soul, not just your shine. There is a deep difference between people who are captivated by the surface of your life and those who are drawn to the essence of your being. The shine is easy to admire. It's the success, the achievements, the applause, the outward things that the world notices and praises. People are naturally attracted to the glow of victory, the sparkle of confidence, and the aura that comes with accomplishment. But all of that is temporary, and it doesn't reveal the full story of who you are. The shine is what you show to the world, but the soul is who you are when no one is watching. The soul carries your values, your convictions, your scars, your lessons, your dreams, and your faith. It is where your true self resides, the part of you that cannot be faked and cannot be replaced. When someone loves you for your soul, they love the unseen, the patience you show in trials, the compassion you offer to the broken, the quiet strength that rises in you even when you feel weak. They are not distracted by titles, possessions, or outward appearances. They are anchored to the depth of your heart. They see beauty not in what the world applauds, but in what heaven affirms. On the other hand, when someone loves only your shine, their affection rises and falls with your circumstances. As long as you are shining, they are present, supportive, and loyal. But when the light dims, when the struggles come, when your season changes, they begin to fade away. Their attachment was never to you, but to the image you carried, to the benefits of being near your glow. That kind of love is shallow, fragile, and conditional. It leaves you feeling used rather than cherished, admired rather than truly known. True love, however, stays when the shine is gone. It does not retreat in times of darkness. It does not waver when success turns into struggle. It embraces the raw, unpolished, and imperfect parts of you with the same devotion as the celebrated moments. It is not blind to your flaws, but chooses to stand with you through them. It is not impressed merely by what you achieve, but by who you are becoming. This kind of love is rare, but it is worth waiting for and worth protecting. Understanding the difference between love that celebrates your shine and love that celebrates your soul brings freedom. It frees you from performing to be accepted. It frees you from trying to keep up appearances just to keep someone's affection. It frees you to live authentically, to walk in truth, and to trust that the ones meant for you will be drawn to your soul, not just to your shine. Not all attention is affection, and not all attraction is genuine. We live in a world where people are quick to notice, quick to applaud, quick to be fascinated by what they see, but that does not always translate into love, loyalty, or truth. Attention can be loud, but it can also be empty. Attraction can feel strong, but it can also be shallow. The danger comes when we confuse interest with intention, when we mistake curiosity for care, or when we equate temporary fascination with lasting commitment. Many people will give you attention because you stand out, because you shine, because there is something unique about you that captures their eye. But once the novelty fades, so does their presence. Affection, on the other hand, goes beyond the moment. It is steady, enduring, and rooted in something deeper than the surface. Affection shows itself not in words but in actions, not in convenience but in consistency. Someone who truly has affection for you does not just show up when it's easy. They remain when it's difficult. They don't just celebrate you in public. They support you in private. They don't just admire you when you are winning. They stand with you when you are losing. Attention may flatter your ego, but affection sustains your soul. Attraction is another layer that can often mislead us. People can be drawn to your energy, your presence, your charisma, or even your appearance. That pull can feel intense, but intensity is not the same as authenticity. Attraction without depth can create bonds that are fleeting and fragile. It can ignite passion quickly, but it can also burn out just as fast. Genuine attraction, however, is not just to what you look like or what you project outwardly, but to the spirit within you. It is attraction to your values, your vision, your kindness, and your strength of character. That kind of attraction does not fade when the external changes, because it is rooted in the eternal qualities that cannot be taken away. The challenge we face is learning how to discern the difference. Discernment allows us to recognize who is simply entertained by our presence and who is genuinely invested in our growth. It helps us separate those who are curious about us from those who are committed to us. Without this wisdom, we can end up pouring our hearts into people who were only ever meant to pass through, leaving us drained and questioning our worth. But when we see clearly, we stop mistaking noise for love, and we start valuing the quiet consistency of those who care for us in ways that the crowd never could. Attention and attraction may feel good, but they are not enough to sustain a relationship, a friendship, or a bond. Only genuine affection, born from truth and anchored in depth, has the power to stand the test of time. Knowing why people love you protects your spirit and builds discernment. Life becomes lighter when you begin to understand the reasons behind people's affection, because it gives you clarity and shields you from unnecessary wounds. When you don't recognize the motives of those around you, you risk giving your heart away to people who were never meant to hold it. You risk mistaking convenience for commitment and charm for character. But when you gain insight into why someone loves you, you develop a guard around your soul that does not harden you but strengthens you. There are those who will love you for the glow of your victories, the opportunities you create, or the way your presence uplifts theirs. That kind of love can feel warm for a while, but it often carries conditions. It lasts as long as you are providing, performing, or elevating their world. And when that season changes, so does their affection. If you do not understand this dynamic, their departure can feel like rejection of your worth. But when you discern it clearly, you recognize that they were never in love with your essence, only with the benefits of being near you. That realization frees you from self-blame and helps you protect your peace. On the other hand, when you encounter those who love you for your soul, their loyalty remains steady even when circumstances shift. They are not impressed by what you give them, but inspired by who you are. They love the quiet strength you show, the character that anchors you, the kindness you extend when no one is watching. Knowing this difference allows you to invest wisely in relationships, pouring your energy into those who see your heart instead of wasting it on those who only see your shine. Discernment is not about being suspicious of everyone. It is about walking with wisdom. It is the ability to see through words and into actions, to notice patterns rather than promises, to recognize whether someone's love deepens with your struggles or disappears when the spotlight dims. It is a spiritual shield that preserves your energy and keeps you from being drained by people who were only meant to take. When you cultivate this discernment, you are no longer controlled by flattery or fooled by attention. You become anchored in truth, able to separate genuine affection from temporary admiration. This understanding not only protects you but also empowers you to move with confidence. You begin to love without fear, because you can tell the difference between authentic connection and superficial attachment. You start to release relationships that were built on shaky ground, and you hold closer the ones that are rooted in faith, loyalty, and truth. With every step of discernment, your spirit grows stronger, your vision becomes clearer, and your journey becomes lighter. Your worth is defined by purpose and faith, not by people's approval. Too often, we find ourselves measuring our value through the eyes of others, seeking validation in their words, their acceptance, and their applause. When they cheer, we feel worthy. When they criticize, we feel diminished. When they leave, we question our worth. But true value does not fluctuate with the opinions of people, because people are inconsistent. One moment they celebrate you, the next they doubt you. One day they call you great, the next they forget your name. If your sense of worth is tied to their approval, you will forever live on shifting ground, always chasing something that can never be secured. Purpose, however, is steady. It is the reason you were created, the calling that rests on your life, the mission planted in your soul long before others had an opinion about you. When you live from your purpose, you understand that your life carries weight whether people see it or not. Your purpose does not depend on applause, it depends on alignment with the path designed for you. It anchors you in moments when rejection comes and reminds you that your worth is not up for debate. Faith strengthens this truth even further. Faith reminds you that you were fearfully and wonderfully made, that your value was established by something greater than human voices. Faith teaches you that your identity is not shaped by who accepts you but by the one who created you. With faith, you realize that even in seasons of loneliness, even when you are overlooked or misunderstood, your worth has not decreased. It remains untouchable, because it was never given by people in the first place. When you walk in purpose and faith, the pressure to perform for approval begins to fade. You stop striving to be liked and start striving to be true. You stop bending to please everyone and begin standing firm in what you are called to do. This does not mean you become arrogant or closed off, but that you live with a deep awareness that your value is unshakable. You can give love freely without fear of rejection diminishing you. You can serve others without needing constant recognition. You can face criticism without collapsing under its weight. Anchoring your worth in purpose and faith also brings freedom. You are free to grow without fear of judgment, free to fail without labeling yourself as a failure, free to succeed without becoming enslaved to applause. You are free to walk away from relationships that drain you, because you no longer depend on them to define your identity. And you are free to embrace the relationships that nurture your soul, because you know they are drawn to who you are, not what you can provide. In this freedom, your life becomes richer, your spirit stronger, and your vision clearer.